Folks, are you creating content? Are you thinking about or are you running a small business? How could you possibly use virtual assistants and AI tools to do more, better, faster? Bo Eckstein put together an amazing presentation that we are going to go through. Bo, before I bring it up, thank you for being here, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's exciting. I think, we talk about entrepreneurship and business ownership. A lot of people get stuck in the day to day, and I think that's why I wanted to talk, because I'm really diving more and more into AI. And I've had virtual team members forever because that's a way to leverage for, $1 is 50 pesos in the Philippines. So that's how I'm able to put out a lot of content, right? Like I edit my videos because I'm not as much of a dynamic speaker as you, so I got to edit it. But and putting out my social media content, so I get like a lot of people that own local businesses. Like, what can they do? Well, we're going to kind of show you some tools today that are going to ramp up your business if you utilize it. And I really believe that if you're not embracing AI, you're really going to miss the boat, because it's such a game changer. The leverage you can get and the output you can put out in a fraction of time. For example, when Michael shows you the PowerPoint, I did that in literally 30 seconds today.
Wow. So AI built the PowerPoint.
Yeah, in 30 seconds. Yeah. 30
Oh,
seconds.
you have no idea how long I spend on PowerPoint presentations. I got to get into some of this. This is going to be good. So, you know what? Let me bring up the PowerPoint. Now you said this took 30 seconds. Let me ask you this. How did you do that? Did you prompt it? Did you tell it what you were looking for? What did you do?
So I go, okay, I want to bring something interesting to Michael's channel today, One Run All the Time channel. So I'm like, what can I do? I go, well, I've been learning a lot about AI, and I've worked with virtual team members for 15 years, and I'm able to like really keep my calendar full now because I have created content, which we preach on this channel, is to like, get a voice, get your voice and put it out there. And in whatever niche you're in, it's going to help you. So even if you have a home service franchise business and you want to get more business, how to respond to people, how to use like ManyChat, all these things that we're going to talk about. So I think it's going to blow your mind. Sorry if you hear a crying baby, but
no, it's okay. No, it's awesome. You're a new dad. What? You're how old is the little one?
5 months already.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let me bring up the PowerPoint. I am starting to share. Let me put this in presentation mode so everyone can you see that, Bo?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, today is all about AI powered productivity tools, and I'm going to share some of the ones that I'm using right now, and I think you're going to get a lot of value. So this presentation was done on gamma.app, and I literally went to ChatGPT, wrote some notes about what I wanted to present. So I said, I'm going to use gamma.app. I'm going to use this app, and it generated this whole thing. I didn't think about it. Literally 30 seconds and it's done. Okay.
Wow.
So
again, gamma.app, again, you told it kind of like prompt engineer. You kind of told it what you're looking for. It spun off. Did you do any kind of tweaks and pivots, like a second iteration? Just done.
Yeah. I normally do tweaks and edits? Yeah. But when I was just doing it quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just
amazing.
yeah. So oftentimes, like when I'm doing my YouTube channel or when I'm doing a presentation on a franchise, I use this type of thing, or I'm doing an SBA presentation. It's an amazing tool to quickly create a screen share. So, instead of just always talking head, I might want to show some visuals, or when I do webinars, or when I'm doing like this weekend, I'm doing Business Ownership Summit. We got 3,000 people registered, my biggest event ever.
Nice work.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously not 3,000 people show up, but it's cool that I got 3,000 to go. And that's by you, that's by leveraging these types of apps, because I do the marketing, I edit the videos, do all that stuff, and I'm able to supercharge. I can think of an idea of an event I want to do, and I can literally have it up on Eventbrite in like 5 minutes, and then I email it out to people on my list, and before you know it, people RSVP. Now, not normally always 3,000 people, but just giving you some insight. So when I went in for Business Ownership Summit, I gave ChatGPT some prompts. This is the event. It laid out the whole thing for me, copied and pasted it, put it in Eventbrite. And then I needed an image done. So I think I either use Canva or I sent it to my VA. I don't typically do Canva. So my VA just, hey, this is what we're doing. She creates the header, So I'm all in it like 5 minutes and it's up and
Mm,
running. So it's
that's
super
amazing.
simple. Yeah. Yeah.
So this
So
Gamma Dot app, I see there at the bottom, it does presentations, which we're looking at, but also does documents.
yeah, you can just do like a one-page PDF document if you want. So
Nice.
you can have it generate things really quick. So let's
All
go to
right.
the next tool because we got several. In video. Okay. So in video creates videos for you. So I
Hmm.
went into InVideo and I read something for 30 seconds so it knew my voice.
Hmm.
Then what it does, then I uploaded a script and it was my voice saying the script and then it plugs in B-roll like stock videos and makes a video out of it. And it does a really good
Wow.
job. So it's my voice without me really talking and it does a video for you in 3 minutes and they're really good.
Hmm.
So so what I do sometimes if I don't have time to film, but I want to get a new trend in SBA financing, like a rate update, I'll quickly create a video. You can also do it in a format of a reel. So there's no excuses anymore to create content. Not every video should be faceless, but once in a while it's okay to plug in because it's going to have your voice. And actually, my voice sounds a little bit better when it's generated by AI. So another amazing tool that a lot of people don't know about yet.
Awesome. Well, let's get to the next one.
Napkin.ai. So napkin.ai, let's just say I could go in there and I could prompt it and say, create an image of a circle explaining the SBA 504 loan, how it's two loans, and show that in an image. And then it gives me 20 or 30 different images. And it's like wonderful. Like if we had more time, I would take you in there.
Hmm.
Right now, this is a free tool and you can create. So like I'll create, if you want to like, for example, I always talk about the triangle method, which I'm talking about tax strategy, real estate ownership, and operating businesses. I can create an image in 2 seconds and it gives you like 100 variations of that image. So
Hmm.
now you're able to get images. So like if I'm doing a PowerPoint, I could plug that particular image in. If I'm doing a social media post on like the power of using leverage to buy single family homes, really quickly create images. Like this will blow your mind if you go through it. Go to napkin.ai. Unbelievable tool.
Man, this is crazy. This is great, Bo. Thank you for doing this, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, you
What
guys
do you
should
got next?
definitely play around. So
Yep.
Notebook LM, this is a newer tool that came out. It's powered. It uses Gemini, which is I believe owned by Google. And so what you can do is you can upload like PDFs, and it'll basically summarize things for you. It'll actually have people doing a podcast in like two people talking about the article. Like
Hmm.
it'll generate that. So like I could
Wow.
upload like I could, for example, I could take Zuber's newsletter and I could take that content, I could put it in there, and then I could have a lady and a guy talking about that newsletter. So then I can create content around that, you know, artificial intelligence. There's a lot of use cases too. So sometimes I'll go in, like if I learn something new about SBA financing, I'll grab a PDF, I'll upload it, and I'll have it like summarize the notes. And then I can then create video content around that. Or, I mean, there's a million use cases of what people are doing
Yeah.
to grow their business. So a lot of people are really getting into so like one of the things I think people should learn right now is what's called prompt engineering. I think you brought that up
Mhm.
earlier. Prompt
Yep.
engineers right now, if you look on like the job boards, they're getting paid like 500 grand a year because
Yeah.
being a
Crazy.
prompt engineer is like the new thing to do because that's really what you need to be good at doing is taking this AI and being able to really give it good, clear input so it gives you the right output. And that's what prompt engineering
Absolutely.
does. And so, I mean, I can't tell you how often I use this thing now. I use AI every single day. Like when people respond to me, they send me a long email, and I'm like, "Do you really want me to respond?" Like I don't have time to respond. I'll take their text, and I'll say I'm replying to this email, and then it'll write like a really nice email. And I
Hmm.
spend instead of spending 5 minutes writing back, I take 30 seconds. So how
Nice.
many of these efficiencies can you carve in your business? Because what do we hear all the time? I just don't have any more time. I don't have time. Guys, if there's guys that are running $100 million companies, they have the same 24 hours in a day that we do. So
Hmm.
what can we do to be more efficient? And that's really the beauty of what these technologies do. Now, what I do, I think special is I pair virtual assistants and then I give them the prompts. So I do a webinar
Yep.
and then I give them a worksheet that has 10 prompts and the prompts will go back and I can repurpose that content. So the prompt will tell it like I'll grab the transcript from the recording And the
Hmm.
prompt, I'll say, one of the prompts will be like, take 5 or 6 nuggets out of this conversation and create a social media post around it. And it
Hmm.
generates the social media post and talks about it. So there's a million things you can do. So a lot of what I do is for content creation, but um, I also use it to like for example, when I get a franchise, I get an FDD, which is a franchise disclosure document. It's a 300-page document, give or take. I
Hmm.
upload it and I'll tell it, hey, summarize the item 7, which is the low to high expenses of what a franchise initial investment is. Then I can help my candidates because they're like, well, I don't know how to put together a sources and uses, which is what is the total project cost going to look like. Then I'm getting detailed enough where I'm going to have some kind of chat AI created where it's going to ask the questions to help the candidate complete the projections. Like, what's the royalty fee? What's the like? So how can you plug this in your business to be more efficient, right? Because like I know Alex Ramosi always talks about constraints in the business. What are your
Hmm.
constraints? We all have certain constraints. Whether you're buying in rental properties, one of your constraints might be that you're not reaching out to enough real estate agents on a daily basis. So how
Right.
can we automate that process and make it look like it's not automated? And now instead
Yeah.
of reaching out to one new real estate agent a week, you're reaching out to 100 or 50 or whatever, right? And so like always kind of optimizing. And then and what Dan Martell says is how do we buy back our time? And that's
Hmm.
what all this can do, which then you work on the big picture stuff to really grow the business and you're not in the day to day. I talked to a guy yesterday who's a one rental guy, and he was telling me that he's like fixing the things that break in the rental properties he owns. And I'm like, man, there's something wrong if you're doing
Yeah.
that because like you're not optimizing your time. And now maybe he loves doing that, but I don't think he
Yeah.
does. Like I think like you got to think like a business owner, and like get like a technician to fix that stuff so you can look for more deals or
Yep.
different opportunities. So I think
Love that.
that's what the kind of the moral of today's story is. Let's go on to the next um, Manny chat. This has a little bit of an AI component, but a lot of people on like social media, they'll say, message me below,
Hmm.
and I'll send you my guide on how to buy one rental at a time, and then
Yep.
it automatically sends it out. So like you can plug in a chat bot into your stuff, and so like the really good social media people that are getting a lot of business. Like there's a girl I follow. She's 19 years old and she runs a 7-figure platform. She helps business owners scale their business through social media, but she
Wow.
puts out really good content and she uses ManyChat. And she's like, she's one at the top of her game at 19, crushing it because like she'll talk about what, a product that she's going to help you with. Do you want this free prompt or you want this prompt to build out your social media planner? Like I have one prompt that I got from her and you fill in the blanks. Like I am a SBA loan broker. My avatar client is a 30 to 50-year-old. It'll create a social media planner with all the content I should create for the week, and it does it
Wow.
in a graph, and it spits it out. It's really, I mean, it's like really amazing. I had to do, don't tell anybody, but I had to do continuing education
Sure.
for one of my mortgage licenses,
Yep.
and it's really tedious. Anyway, so I uploaded the syllabus, the handbook,
Yep.
and then, and then I copied and pasted the questions and answer or the questions, and it answered all my questions. Now, that would have been probably taken me 3 or 4 hours. It
Yeah.
took me 20 minutes, right? And so don't
Yeah.
tell people
Well,
I did
just
that
just
because
just so you
yeah.
know, Bo, I didn't tell them. You told them. This is recorded.
I didn't do that. Okay. I was just
No, you
testing it.
could have. You could have
Yeah,
done it.
I
Yeah, it
could
was a
have done
test.
that, right? So there's just a million things you can do. So ManyChat's another great one. Let's go to the next one. Opus.ai. I use this all the time. So let's just say like I'm on this YouTube show, and you
Mhm.
probably got to ask permission, but I'm on this show, and like there's some really good clips. So I would just go and grab the URL from One Rental at a Time,
Mhm.
and I would then put it into Opus Pro. It's going to automatically cut 8 to 10 different clips at any length I want, automatically, and put the
Wow.
titles in. So I created 10 reels from one episode I was on One Run All the Time. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
You can also go right. You can also post right to social media from Opus now. So it's another
Wow.
awesome tool. and it saves you because you don't need to necessarily have an editor do it. It does it right here automatically with AI. So this
That's
is, I mean,
amazing.
play around with Opus sometime, guys. You'll be blown away what it can do. Next slide. So embracing AI powered productivity. So I never looked at this slide because I did it in 30 seconds, but so these are some of the tools. There's a lot more tools. I actually was playing around with another one, and it said give a prompt, and it creates images for you. And I said,
Mm.
I am a one rental at a time fan, and it created about 10 different images, and I just grabbed one to show Michael, like, hey, look what, like, in 2 seconds I created this, right?
Look at that.
So these are all things you can do, and like really the sky's the limit on how creative you get with this. I mean, it's going to get so unbelievable on what happens. This is as big or maybe even bigger than when the internet started, I believe.
Yeah.
Like,
I think one of the things that I am starting to believe, again, I think what we've seen over the last couple of years is it's a lot easier to be a solopreneur, right? Something I have proven is you can build up a brand and an image, aka one rental at a time by yourself, no 1099s, no overhead, no employees, couple hours a day. And that's before AI. Now, if you think about what AI could do on top of that, it could really explode what's the option. And again, I am not an entrepreneur. I don't think overhead, marketing, funnels, all of these things. I just think create value, have fun, see what happens. But I think what AI is going to allow a lot of people to do is get their voice, create their own brand, and do it faster, which I think is just wildly exciting.
yeah, and I kind of think that you are becoming an entrepreneur, to be honest with you. So, like, you weren't before, but you are now because I think you got a taste of entrepreneurship. So you were a corporate guy, right? You're, tech sales, and now, after you retired, you became an entrepreneur because now you like, what you do now as an entrepreneur because you're like started a YouTube show to help people build wealth through real estate, right? And through
Yeah.
that, like, so I think I disagree that you're not an entrepreneur. I think you weren't, but I think you are now. So you're embracing entrepreneurship. And I think we should all get a little bit of entrepreneurship
Yeah.
under our belt because let's face it, the tax code wasn't written for W-2 employees. It was
Oh,
written for
amen.
small business owners. So, when you're a YouTube creator and you have to go to Las Vegas to go to, an event, right? Let's say like your event coming up, not only can you probably get a write-off because you're a real estate investor and you're going to a real estate educational event, but if you're a creator and you're creating content, going to the event, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a you can write
Yeah.
a
It's an
portion of that
expense.
off. The
Yeah.
hotel you stay at, the steak and
The
lobster
meals.
dinner you
Yeah.
have with a colleague that you meet at the event could potentially be a tax write-off. So that's why, like, you have a lot more freedom, and then you can create self-directed retirement accounts and like all these
Yeah. Yeah.
things. And so it's just
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing.
I couldn't agree more. I love this topic. I love this, how to use AI and virtual assistants to explode your business, your brand, whatever you want it to be. Bo, thank you for putting this together. I think it's a great example. We'll have to do this again. How can people reach out to you? Because a lot of people are talking about buying small businesses a la Cody Sanchez. We have a lot of ORAT fans buying vending machines. We have people looking at franchises. How should they reach out to you?
Just go to onerentalmeeting.com and schedule a call. And the calendar is staying, I would say, because I'm implementing all these strategies I was showing you, and even many more. The calendar is getting very booked up, which is a good thing.
Like, yeah.
So that's how the next phase of maybe one of the next presentations, I can show people how I work with my virtual team in the Philippines and how efficient it is and how I use Slack and things to communicate. And it's like
Like
they're
it.
right down the street. You don't know any different, right? So
Yeah.
that is
Love
the
it.
beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you can, I used to talk about the laptop lifestyle. I wanted the
Yep.
laptop lifestyle that I could go and spend some time in my cabin. I'm going to buy a cabin somewhere in, I think, the Sierra Nevadas. And, I could go there for a month when it's hot
Yeah.
here in Vegas. And like, not, business still is the same because I'm doing business on Zoom and email and text. And so that's the
There you
beauty of
go.
being an entrepreneur. You can have the freedom to travel and still business as normal, as usual.
Love it. Love it, Bo. Thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate you. Again, onerentalmeeting.com. He bought a URL just for this channel. I thank you. Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys.